Now, apologizing isn't really one of my strong points, but keeping it real is. So listen up, Harsh. Nah, he's one of my favorites out there. I do have to make this video, though, because Harsh Reality has commented on my recent live stream, and I want to make sure that he hears this as well as the rest of you, because I do have to make a public apology to a man that I watch regularly and when it comes to true crime, that being Harsh Reality. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's do it.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? You guys already know who this is, and I normally would take this time to shill everything and say thank you to the Gun Squad, tell you can click the links down below, do all that. You guys can still do that, but I decided I'm just going to skip that part for right now and jump right into this. The fellow that you see over my shoulder, his name is Harsh Reality. He is a YouTuber, and last week he began to take down his donation links, his merchandise, and I was very critical of that. I left a comment on his page, and then on my live stream, I proceeded to say some pretty harsh words in regards to YouTubers like him and people like him. Because here's the thing, I believed that he was pressured by the audience, the true crime community, who tends to think we shouldn't make money by creating content. I believed he was pressured. I still kind of believe he was pressured. And so I said some harsh things about him in regards to him taking down all of those things. I made some assumptions about him. I was, harsh and disrespectful in regards to this man. I even mentioned this man's wife. So, like I would do in any other situation where I was wrong, I have to admit it now. Now, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you the comment he left, and I'm going to elaborate on it. Harsh Reality this morning, he said, "Hi, JB, another book for you." He said, "Look, since you took the time to speak in depth about the merch and mental health around my content, I thought it was only right to address what you are saying for clarity." Now, let me say this. You guys know how I am about mental health. I don't think it's really a thing. And so whenever I hear grown men talk about mental health, a lot of times I'm pretty vicious about it, right? I come from the old school. Me and Harsh is we're about the same age, actually. I'm 42, I think he's 43. And the reality of this situation is that when I grew up, if you're a man, you just knuckle up. You lace your boots up. You just get out there and you get it, right? It's just the way it was. It's the way it should be. It's the way it is. If you got, we're not big believers in depression or anything like that, right? Because we just when we're sad, when we just assume that it's just life, and that's just kind of the way. So I guess different people are raised different ways. And so I was a little bit hard on him for that, but let's continue. He goes to explain why, and we're going to get into it right here. With regards to my mental health issues, trust me, I'm not an emotional drunk. In fact, my nickname Harsh stems from my drinking alter ego when my brain disengages completely from my mouth. I can understand that completely, brother. My mental health advocacy comes from the fact that my mom, my best friend, and my partner's little sister all killed themselves. Oh, man. This is why I have to apologize. Brother, I didn't know any of that. And so I have to say you're the exception to the rule. I came out and I spoke about how most true crimers, you know, they can come out and they can say that they're doing it to solve the case. They're doing it for the victims. They're doing it for all of this. And I will openly tell you that most of them are full of shit. Just reading that line tells me that Harsh has skin in the game. So when Harsh comes out here and says that he does this for free, he doesn't necessarily need the money, that it means something to him, I believe him completely now. I also believe him about mental health now, well, at least in this scenario, because think about it. If you had those people all kill themselves in your life, that would fuck you up too. Or at least to the point where you would look at mental health a little bit more different than me. Now, I had a horrible upbringing. We all know this, but the suicide shit is something a little bit different. And for, Harsh, I assume that takes its toll. So no, just reading that made me want to apologize to Harsh. And I'm going to, because that is a horrible, horrible story so far. Okay. Also, others on the peripheral have done the same. It has made me very aware of issues around mental health, and I know that there is no real support out there for it. Also, a very close friend of mine, Amanda, was stabbed to death at 17, and this was completely avoidable. And I understand that. I've been stabbed, I've been shot, I've had people murdered, and that's also my dark past. That's kind of why I get into true crime, to be perfectly honest with you, right? Harsh. But I can see now that you have, like I said, clearly you have reasons for being here. And so for you, this very well may be therapeutic, bro. And so when you stand out and you say, I've already made my money, this isn't a job for me. Because me and you both got about the same thing, right? We know that you said you got a $10,000 equipment. I got about the same exact in my equipment. So I understand you completely. And I'm just going to say this to my audience. I believe Harsh completely when he says he's not doing this as a job or anything like that. He's not doing it necessarily for money. I still think people should get paid for the work, to be perfectly honest. But for Harsh, there's something else involved here. I believe this could be therapeutic for him. And so, whereas before, I kind of called him a liar, I have to say now that I was wrong, that clearly this matters to him. Clearly he has reason for being here. He's the exception to the rule, if that makes sense. Now, with respect to the merchandise, I never stated that I was doing it for free. In fact, I said to you that the ad revenue does what I want. Super chats are active, yes, but to be honest, they are seldom used. More so in lives, and most of the time my lives are demonetized for the first week after they have rendered, so that is really the only reason I leave them active, as lives for me are not easy and pleasant to do, due to time variations between myself and the primary audience. I have never mentioned them, however, I do not promote them, and that's completely understandable. I'm glad you're keeping your monetization and your super chats. I think you should. I think you 100% should. I think you should keep all of it for several reasons, okay? Because number one, people that want to buy your merch should still have the availability to buy your merch. They shouldn't have to just depend on fucking contests, right? There's going to be people out there that want to buy your merch. I understand what you're saying. And look, man, your money is your money. That's not my business, bro. Even from the very beginning, I was just trying to tell you, bro, don't do this to yourself. Because it is kind of my business. Now, let me explain to you why. Because the true crime community already acts as if people that make content shouldn't be paid for their time and effort. Not the whole true crime community, but a good portion of it, right? And so when we get creators like you that come out and basically give the shit away as charity, for some of us, we're like, it does affect us, right? Because they're going to go immediately think that everyone should be like Harsh Reality. That everyone has the time available to just pour 80 hours into a YouTube channel per week for free, right? And so that is why when I saw your post, I personally talked to you and said, no, don't let them bully you out of this shit. Because I already knew, listen, I truly believe you wanted to run your channel the right way. I truly believe that. That's why you promoted your merch. That is what, hell, you even said a joke in your video the other day about somebody sponsoring you. It was a joke, but you see my point. I can't remember who it was. But my point of this is that from my perspective, as I was watching you and seeing comments, and as I already know what the true crime audience feels like, or some of the comments I see, I felt as if they had bullied you out of making money for your hard work. And so I personally didn't want to see that shit. I didn't, because none of these cocksuckers are calling up Netflix and Disney Plus and asking them to entertain them for free, right? But I get it. I live in a nice house. I have 2 cars, Audi TT and a Range Rover Sport. That's awesome. I wear nice clothes and a $4,000 watch, and I film with $10,000 equipment. I 100% agree with that. I understand. I am doing this because this is something that I want to do and enjoy doing, and the channel sustains itself. And some without the 2 conduits that were causing either confusion or angst. Buy Me a Coffee was removed due to the people joining it as they couldn't find the YouTube members link on their phones, and I did not want people paying. I have expressed the reason the merch went. I am not doing this for free and never stated that I am. A proportion of the channel's earnings have been donated in the past to a couple personal projects involving schools in the UK, but the channel makes money, and that is simply me being happy with what I have. And I can get that. I understand that. I do. And after reading this, I truly believe you. And that's why I felt the need to publicly apologize. Since I publicly was vicious, I want to publicly apologize. Because I truly believe you're doing this just I truly believe you. You saved your bread, you're retired, your wife makes good money. You have skin in the game. This is something that truly means something to you. I believe you, bro. I believe you. And that's how it was. You did mention what Mrs. Harsh feels about me playing daddy daycare. Our kids are all school age, one at primary and the rest at high school, college. My partner works part-time within a school, and YouTube is not the only thing that I do. I'm a business consultant with a business called Athenium, and I'm a personal fitness advisor for some of the clients of some of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, including Matt Morgia, I don't know what he's saying, Mike Thurston. And I supply health products to my clients worldwide. That's awesome, brother. My partner works because she loves helping children, and she is a speech and language specialist for children. Let me tell you how I feel right now. I feel like this is kind of ridiculous because I don't like to wallet watch people anyway. Your financial situation is none of my business, to be honest. However, once again, from a YouTuber perspective, and when I feel people do something that could affect the community, that's when I typically speak out. But in retrospect, I look back at this, and I don't just apologize for the things that I said. Because here's the thing. When I commented on your page, I was being 100% helpful. I believe I've tried to be 100% helpful this entire time. But I also believe I've been vicious and even accused you of having just different motives. I believe that I've accused you of that, and I believe I was wrong for that. I believe it was wrong maybe my initial comments were not wrong, but it feels creepy sitting here having a discussion about another man's fucking pockets. You see what I'm saying? Like, that feels weird to me. So even this part is reading this is a little struggle, right? We have money where many do not, so we'll do what we can to help people, but not for free. I'm not Jesus. I can respect that. I also provide free assistance to people who have made high-ticket purchases and have had issues and struggling to get the company to deal with their issues due to myself spending over a decade in middle management for one of the biggest retailers in Europe. I have a lot of respect for you. I appreciate your comments. I completely understand your point of view. The only thing I would question, however, is your ability to punch me on the nose when I turn into a gooey drunk. I'm 6'2" and weigh 245 with a romantic gypsy heritage. I'm a big fella myself. You know what though? Your personality, you're right. Some people you just know you wouldn't punch because they're just too nice. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Despite having the name Harsh, you're actually very well spoken, very nice. And it's rare that someone makes me look at myself and say, okay, you was probably wrong on this one. And you did. So you're probably right about the last part. You're probably right. I want to end this by saying to my audience that as for as harsh as I am and for as vicious as I am, it's always good to look back in the mirror and look at something and analyze something over again. And listen, Harsh obviously felt the need to write me all of that, just like he did on his page. So he obviously valued my opinion on the situation. And I'm making this video because I want Harsh to know that I value his. And I truly do apologize if I came across disrespectful or offensive to him or question his motives. I truly believe that his motives are pure. Not that it was any of my business to begin with. So big shout out to Harsh Reality. I would recommend everyone, if you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to his channel. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your comment. Appreciate your response. And hopefully you hear this apology and you understand I mean it from the bottom of my heart as well. Keep doing your work, brother. And I hope it brings you the peace and the therapeutic and the therapy that maybe you're seeking. I'm sorry about your past. I'm sorry to hear the story about your family. And if you ever need anything, I'm right here, brother. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Sometimes you need to retract shit. It's very rare that I have to. This one I do. I believe him. I'm out.